It all started with a smug letter taped to my farmhouse door. Notice of violation. You are hereby given 72 hours to sell and vacate your residence. Failure to comply will result in legal action by the homeowners association. First, I laughed. Sell my lodge? This place wasn't just a house. It was my grandfather's land, my father's sweat, and my family's refuge by the pond. The deed had been in my family name for 3 generations. The HOA? They were nothing more than a group of busybodies who formed a committee and started calling themselves the law. But when I didn't respond to their notice, things escalated. Karen, their fearless leader, showed up at my front porch with 2 other board members, waving a clipboard like it was a sheriff's badge. You've got until Friday, she snapped, or we'll seize your property and auction it to the highest bidder. I asked her calmly, on what authority? She smirked. On ours. This is HOA managed land. I pulled the deed out of my safe and handed it to her. No, this is my land. Your HOA doesn't even include my parcel. Her face twisted. You'll regret this. And with that, she stormed off. That night, I sat at my desk, staring at her so-called violation notice. That's when inspiration struck. See, I'm not just some stubborn farmer. I also own several rental properties around town. And guess what? Many of those properties fall directly under HOA-managed leases. If they wanted to play this game, I'd play harder. The next morning, I called my lawyer. By the afternoon, we had filed paperwork to triple the HOA's lease costs on all the properties I owned that bordered their jurisdiction. And because Karen had insisted my land was community property, I used her words against her in the contract. The HOA couldn't contest the new terms without admitting they had no claim over my land. Checkmate. By Thursday, word had spread through the neighborhood. Residents were furious. Their monthly dues had skyrocketed overnight to cover the new lease terms. Meetings erupted into chaos. People shouted at Karen, demanding answers. She tried to pin it on me. He's extorting us. But then my lawyer stood up and read her own words from the eviction notice aloud. She'd hung herself with her arrogance. By Friday morning, instead of me packing boxes, it was Karen who was drowning. Residents voted to remove her as HOA president on the spot. Half the board resigned. The HOA treasury, already weak from Karen's nonsense projects, was bled dry trying to keep up with the new lease obligations. And here's the kicker. When they couldn't pay, I filed for a lien against the HOA. Within 30 days, I legally owned their community center and their little office shack. I tore the office down and built a barn. The sign that once read, HOA headquarters, now reads, my last name Family Farm Supply. Karen, humiliated, still lives a few houses down. Every time she drives by my property, she has to look at the barn that replaced her empire. As for me, I still live in my lodge, still fish in my pond, and now I collect rent money from the very HOA that tried to force me out. They gave me 72 hours to sell. Instead, I tripled their lease and took their headquarters. Not bad for a week's work.